Hey guys, welcome back to Easeldoesitstudio. So we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do these little molds today. They are matte, but I'm curious to see what they're going to look like. So these are the two dragon molds that I bought on Temu that I thought were going to be, you know, much bigger. So we're going to do this one in the Intense Chameleon powder from Let's Resin. We're going to do Fairy Green and Deep Blue. So we're going to do the dragon in the green and his wings in the deep blue. So that's what we're going to do for this one. For this one, I am going to do the body in the Chameleon green, which is a green purple hue, and we're going to do the wing in violet, and these are the Intense the Chameleon Flakes. So that's what we're going to do this one in. And I pulled out this little elephant mold, and I think we're just going to do this in a holographic silver and a holographic black glitter. These are both glitters, and we're just gonna do that. So first we're gonna get these painted on. So I am going to flip these over because I don't want my other colors getting into them. And I'm gonna take my big brush and a couple of the littler brushes to see which ones are going to work best for what. All right, so let's get the body done first. I was thinking about maybe doing the horns a different color, but maybe we'll paint those once it comes out, because I've never poured these. I don't know what it's going to look like. So let's just start. All right, so let me get this on this side. And that way I'm going to know how big they are, so then I can find something to attach it to, you know, once they're out and we know how big they are. So I didn't get a lot in there, so we might actually go in with maybe like a gold or something. And I am going to use the Let's Resin 4-Hour Fast Cure because these are not going to take much at all. So why not? So I will have to clean a little bit of that wing. You know, and I don't even know, like, what parts are what yet. So, you know, we'll just see how close I get to what I want, what color. And I'll have to clean that little part of that wing, but we'll clean that up after. So these little areas in there are going to be kind of tricky getting that resin to get in there and to make sure that they're colored. All right, they look colored. So this should just be a nice, simple, fairly quick video. All right. I'm just making sure like those little high spots are colored. All right, now let's get a little micro brush and get this area in here cleaned. I need a paper towel, that would help. All right, so that's looking good. And I am just gonna wipe this out. All right, I think we have got it all. Let me just take a baby wipe. And that way we know that we got all of that out of this part of the mold. Okay, so let's do like I said, I don't know how these are gonna look when they come out because they are a matte mold, but I'm hoping that you know, it's still gonna look good. Now I don't know how this gold is gonna show up with black because we are gonna color our resin in black. Let's switch to this little angled brush. You know, and there is a little bit of other color going through, so I don't know how that's going to look. But, you know, we'll find out. All right, let's just clean this. And if there's a little bit of sparkle in there, that's okay. That's okay. All right, let's, we're gonna switch to the bigger brush because we're gonna do this in the deep blue. I love this blue. And remember, whatever color touches your silicone first is the color it's going to be. So that's why I try to save my darker colors for last. So I think that's going to be kind of cool. All right, we got one done. Come on. Now, let's do, this one is going to be with the flakes. This one is going to definitely make a mess. So I'm just going to flip this one over there so we get no sparkles in it. And let's see. I guess we'll start with the body on this one as well. And I'm gonna try this, and I'm gonna try to put my hand here so we don't get a bunch flying over there. So let me try, I've seen some people doing this. And it seems to help. So we're gonna try it. Now with these flakes, you really, really need to get them burnished in. I struggled with these when I first started with my resin because I didn't put enough, and it used to just look spotty instead of gorgeous the way it should be. These are really, really pretty when they're done right. So hopefully, and it's just these little tiny areas are where you really need to pay attention. Okay. So and it did work pretty good doing this. I'm thinking that's where his body kind of ends, right here. So So I'm just trying to alleviate a lot of cleanup by holding my hand there, because this is a small enough mold. I had something rattling every time I moved this table. It was driving me nuts. So this little angle brush works really good for these like little, you know, because it's thin and it's an angle. See, I think this is part of the wings too. So I'm thinking I'm going to mix 4 ounces of resin. I'm hoping that is enough, because I don't think these are going to take much at all. So this is going to also give us a good idea of, you know, if this would be good for like extras. If we have extra, we can just, you know, kind of get these poured, and then we can use them for toppers on boxes or, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, this does work good, guys, using the tweezers on these flakes. I've never tried that before, and it is working really, really good. Instead of them flying all around. Okay, so we didn't do too bad there. And I'm just going to take this baby wipe. And we might not get all of the glitter flakes up, but they'll blend in with the next color. So that is totally fine. Like I said, I don't know like what parts go with what, and so once we get it poured, then we will know for next time. Thinking that's part of the wing right there. All right, so that is cleaned up good enough. So let's get the cover on this. And then we're gonna go in with the violet. Because this green does have a little violet showing through. Oh, I've never even used this one. Wow, imagine that, guys. And this is a violet and like a blue-green kind of mixture. And then with this one, I don't have to be as you know, careful as to if they go on the other color, because the green is already down. So I figured I'd start in these more difficult areas. So out of all the products that I have, the Chameleon Flakes are the product I have used the least. I mean, absolute least. But now that I know how to do it, we will have to use them more, because this one here is gorgeous. This color is beautiful. And when we get to the elephant, it's going to be mostly the silver glitter. I am going to just put a few darker spots in. So I'm going to do that first, and then, which is opposite of what I normally do. But because I only want little spots of it, I want to definitely get that in first. Yeah, so it definitely works better if you use tweezers to get a good amount down, because then you can really burnish that in there good. And then I'll shake the excess out over my trash, blow it out, and that is going to be gorgeous. All right, so we're going to flip him over, and we are going to switch over to our two elephants. I'm going to start with the black glitter first. And we are going to got a hair. Get off of there. Thank you. Now, I'm not going to worry about that little bit of overspray right there, because to me, it's going to give a little bit of contrast or depth or whatever. So I just want to get a little bit of darkness in these. Maybe a little bit on the bottom, on his little feet. So I'm almost thinking, instead of doing this in black, do I do it in a gray? So I'm just kind of, because he's so textured, I do want a little bit of something. Get a little micro brush and see if I can. That was a little too dark for what I wanted there. And I'm going to go less on the baby because, you know, it's still got nice baby skin. All right, so I think that is all I am going to do with the black. And then the rest we're going to do the silver. And I'm going to try my new favorite brush. I'm going to have to look to see if this Posy Makeup Professional has different size brushes, because these are phenomenal, guys. I think these brushes have worked the best on not leaving any brush marks in, you know, in the mold. It definitely gives a nice, nice finish. So I don't know if this glitter is going to, you know, show up through where this is a matte mold. I don't know. I've had this mold for quite a while. I have a giraffe and I think a lion, either a lion or a tiger or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it was like a 3-pack. I think I got it on Amazon. I am not 100% sure. I will look if I can find them. Find it. I will list it. If not, I don't know what to tell you. So I do have a couple of ideas, but I won't know for sure if it's going to work until I demold these. So for now, this is what we're gonna, and I figured where there was so little, we'd do 3 of them. And I'm getting in that tail. All right, and making sure we get that trunk. Okay. All right, I'm gonna probably have to bring out Susie Bug because I've got glitter going everywhere. And these are the flakes. I'm gonna put these back. And that's the other glitter. All right. Stick those there. Let me get Susie Bug. Ugh, I still got glitter flying, guys. try to minimize the flying. All right, so I'm going to use the Let's Resin Fast Cure. I'm going to mix up 4 ounces. I'm going to separate it into 2 ounce each. I'm going to run it through the debubbler. And then I will be back. All right, so I figured I'd come back. We get this mixed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it into 3, try to do 3 equal parts. And that way I can do 1 gray and the other 2 in black. So we have got 4 ounces. I'm thinking if I go right to that line. So I figured I put the color in and then we will run it through the debubbler. Oh. I mean, I don't really even know that we would have to. But because this is a thick resin, so I don't know. I'll see how it looks, and then I can always just spray it. Because it's really not going to show because the front is covered. So, you know, we might just be lazy today and kind of like every other day of my life. All right, so I am going to put black, black, come on, there we go. Oh, no, I didn't even want to do that. I want to take the cover off because this doesn't squirt out good. So I'm going to stick my stick in there. We're going to start with the white, and then I'm going to add just a smidge of the black to make it a gray. And then when I mix up the other ones with the black, then because I know we don't have much working time with the 4-hour fast cure, so I don't want to push my luck because I haven't used this much either. Okay, now let me just do I'm just gonna, it's not even a full, it's like a dot. Because I know sometimes with the silver, if you make it too dark, it makes the silver look different. I mean, yeah, the glittered silver. So I figured if I do it in a gray, then if I did miss any spots, it's just going to look like another shade of gray. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good elephant color. All right, now let me get these two mixed. And I hope I have enough. The elephant's ones that I'm kind of a little worried because he is a little bit, the big one's a little deeper, but we'll see. Okay. That is good. All right, so we're gonna start with the small dragon. I don't think this is going to take much at all. So worst case scenario, we'll have the black, I think, to fill in with. So let's start getting these poured. And then I will have to take something and get into those little tiny crevices. Yeah, I think we'll have some extra. All right, let's just start with that. And I'm going to use my scribe because this is already a dull mold, but it's the finest tip that I have. And I do want to make sure that I get all of the little bits. You know, like all those little ends. Because I don't want any bubbles in those. So remember the book that I made and I put the dragon on it, which I think I did put the eye upside down. Somebody mentioned that to me. They actually have a mold like that now that is a binder, one of those complete book molds, but it's the scale of the dragon. So I did add that to my Amazon wish list so I can get that down the road because that way there, it's going to be the whole, you know, the whole notebook cover, which I think that's going to look really, really good. All right, so we're going to just let that flow. I think that is pretty good. It's a little bit domed, but not too much. So I'm just going to slide this one over here for now. And let's get... So that one there is about a 1/2 ounce. So worst case scenario, I will pull out one of the other little critter dudes I've got. And we will do that. All right, so again, just kind of help it get in there. So I could definitely make these in the mix to mold. I've just got to wait because we had a few added repairs. I had a light coming on in my car, and it kept saying monitor tire system or whatever. Well, it's like a little tiny like battery sensor on the wheels, but you can't just replace the battery. You have to replace the little thingy, and then you've got to have your tires spun balanced. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, these new cars are not, I mean, it's not new, but it's, you know, I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Why can't you just change a battery? Or just the sensor even, without having to... So we had 2 done, and yeah, so that was like a $254 expense I was not expecting. And he said, I don't know how long it'll be for the other ones. Well, now my light's on again. Well, you know what? It's going to wait. I got my sticker, so it will wait until next year. I don't know what to tell them. Okay. So... And I hope I'm not scratching any of that off, but I wanted to make sure that it got into the little, those little grooves. All right, that one's done. Let's give it a spray. Pop some bubbles. We're gonna move this back out of the way. And let's get Mr. Elephant done. So this one, I just got to worry about the inner ear piece. There's not as many little intricate okay. So I might be pulling out one of the other little animal things that I have. Yeah, I was afraid I wasn't going to have enough, and I'm going to have all kinds of extras. I'm just kind of guiding that to go into that trunk. Okay. Now let's get our little baby. So I can turn these ones into fridge magnets even. These would make, you know, for people that collect elephants like me. Yeah. All right, I think. And I think this one here, I think will stand up because it looks pretty chunky on the bottom. Let's see, slide this over here. And let me see what else we've got here. So yeah, it came the elephant and these 3 pieces. That's looking like a lion, but I think we're gonna, we are gonna call it a Black Panther. And let me, what do I have that I could just brush on this really quick? Let me see what we got. Regular Chameleon. Let's do it in like a champagne color. Really quick. And I wasn't going to do the whole thing, but I guess I am. I wanted a little bit of that black to shine through, but we'll just see how this works. Switch to the little brush to get the other little areas. And then we will see We'll have all kinds of little extras to either make magnets or add to boxes, even jars, depending on how tall they are. All right. And let's get this poured. And this one should be fairly straightforward. And we'll get baby done. All right, let me take my scribe. Make sure we have, you know, the tail and the little feet's all filled in. And his little thingy dings, I don't know what those are called. His horn or something, his antler. All right, so that one is full. If anything, he is a smidgen over full. Oop. All right. Definitely a little over. Sometimes it just is easier to use your finger. Because these have, they're so intricate, I don't want to have a lot of cleaning, trimming, or whatever you want to call it. All right. Okay, now let's get our cat done, and we're still gonna have extras, guys. What was I thinking? Obviously, I wasn't. All right, and this one I'm just gonna pour plain. I do want to spray it though. These little ones are so little. All right, so let's get his little ears, and I think I'm gonna have to tilt this mold back. like that. I'm gonna have to definitely put a stick under here. These gotta be, this one is full, but this one still needs some, and the big one still needs some. Wow. All right, now I have got to wow, am I making a mess? All right, I'm going to get my little squeegee thing out here in a second. I'm not even going to spray that because I'm afraid it's going to go over. Well, I'm glad I used the 4-hour because all right, so let me find something else to put that in, and then I will be back and we will get these all demolded, guys. If I can shut my phone off. Okay, guys. So we had some runoff on this one for sure. I babysat it for a while, but it just was just leaking. So let's get our little extras out here first. Oh, a little black and white pig. Well, gray and white. Look at how cute he is. So I just poured everything in this. I just kind of did a, you know, I pour back and forth. All right, so these two were the extras. These were the originals that we were doing. So let's go ahead and get whatever this cat is out. And I will have to trim this bottom here. Okay. So after this kind of set up, I did pop it on the heat mat for an hour. So just to give it that extra little bit of whatever. And it's got like this little shadow up on its back, so I just want to trim that off. So other than that, he looks kind of cute. So that is what I'm going to call our Black Panther. Does he stand? No, not quite. All right, let's get these little buggers out. Oh, he's cute. He's got a hole in one ear, but that's fine. Oh, so these came out. Let me get a paper towel so you can see them a little bit better here. All right, so we've got the big one, and we've got the two little babies. So those would be cute on a box or whatever, like, you know, we could actually have that even standing on the front of a box would be cute. You know, we could put like a little baby or a couple babies. So yeah, that kind of is an idea. All right, let's just get this over here. And let's do our giraffe. Now that one I poured just plain black. This one, I did the champagne. Yeah, I think it was the champagne chameleon powder. All right, where's my... Let's get some of that excess off. I do have to trim a little bit, which I kind of knew. Little extra on the, that's just the real thin stuff, so. And I will trim this. All right. Oh, so that came out really cute. I mean, it's not giraffe colors, but, you know, it's cute. Let's see what the baby looks like. You know, and again, these are extras, so we will do something with them. So this little guy's got, his feet are separated. All right, let's see here. And there's the baby. The detail on these are pretty good. I'm impressed. All right, so got those. Let's do the elephants because I'm really curious to see. I'm going to get them both out. And kind of what I suspected on this little guy. Now, I kept scraping them down for a little while, but even when I walked away, they continued to, you know, just do their thing. So, and this is really, really fine stuff, so it just kind of breaks off. It's just getting, you know, something in there to break it apart. That's all. There we go. Oh, he came out cute. These came out really, really cute. You know, and again, I mean, with this would be a little bit high on this box, but it still would work. You know, we could put it on the lid. You know, that would be cute too. So yeah, that's our little elephants. And I can just, you know, give them a little eyeball or something. All right, now I know this one will probably have a little cleaning, but hopefully not too much. Let me just, because if I can get it so I can just rip it off. I guess we'll use the Deburra. And this is what I didn't want to happen, but because of the shape of these little buggers, this is what we ended up with. I mean, there's no sharp edges. It's just getting this little kind of overage kind of off of there. So I'll probably have to like go through it with my knife, I'm thinking. That might make it where there's so many different intricate areas. Yeah, I think that will work better because it's basically just, you know, kind of scraping it. I just want to try to get it as clean as possible before I flip this over. That way we can get, you know, a true look at what it looks like. Now I'm curious to see if the gold is going to show up in these little horns or not. There we go. All right, I think I got the most of it off. We'll get the gist of it. All right. Oh, that's really, really cute. Okay, so I just realized this should be like a brown. It looks like a log, but I did get the wings right. The horns aren't quite as gold like I wanted them, but overall, it's really, really cute. So that's the small one. Let's hope there's not as much cleanup on the big guy. So now I will be able to like put him up next to things to see what we could mount them. Oh, I think we got bubbles. All right, so we do have a little bit of that. Just this stuff breaks off really, really easy, but I'm not going to go through all of that with you guys because, you know, I don't want to bore you to death. But I also want to give a good, you know, representation of this mold, seeing how it's way smaller than I thought it was going to be. And I even think, you know, I'm pretty sure I read the size on this, and yeah, I don't know. I think I'm about done with Temu. And they have a koala one that I want really bad, but I'm so afraid to get it that it's going to be too little. Oh, he is amazing. So, he could definitely go on the top of a box. I think he's definitely way too big. And that one is definitely way too big. But again, he could go on a cover like that. Would he? Oh, he might actually fit like in the bottom. Like if we filled this up, but I don't know if we'd see his face. That's the only thing. We might have to put him that way in order for most of it to show in the bottom of the box. You know, a small one would work in the bottom. That would be kind of cool in the bottom of a box. I know you can't probably see much, but see, that's how it would look if it was like if we filled this and then made sure that this final layer was like a clear layer. So that would be kind of cool. So yeah, overall, I think these came out pretty cool. Now I know what they look like. That's the fat. I want the fine. That's the fine. So we can just give him like a little silver eyeball, and just lightly brush over these like little veins. And this is a rough, like a textured one. Probably because there's little bubbles in there. Just giving him, I guess, a little something, a little highlight. Give him a little silver eye. Just highlight these tips, just a little bit. Just some of the bigger ones. Yeah. Just a little something. You know, we could even maybe do like the claws. Just a little bit of silver. You know, just to kind of have them stand out. And these ones got bubbles in them, so they're not going to show, but I think they came out kind of cute. Alrighty, guys. Well, that is a nice, quick little, well, I don't know how quick it is, but let me just get some of his claws here. These ones don't have too many. And I'll get the black. Let's just give the elephants a little bit of an eyeball. And a little giraffe. There we go. And I think these little things on the top are generally black. So we'll just kind of color that in. Yeah. So something different today. So yeah, that's our video for today, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Oh, I almost forgot Mr. Piggy over here. Oh, I think he's cute. And let's just color his little satchel thing, whatever he's carrying here. And we're just going to paint this whole thing silver. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I know it's a bag of some sort, but this little guy, he's got a little silver bag. There he goes. There. And we have our little piggy. So yeah. So again, to recap, we have our little Black Panthers. That's what I'm calling them. Oh, and there's the other little one. So that one was 3, a mama and 2 babies. And then our giraffes, a mama and a baby. Our little piggy. And our pair of elephants, which you still can see the sparkle in it a little bit. And you can see the differentiation in the ear, so it gives that little bit of a shadow. And then our 2 little dragon. I really like this one. I was hoping this was going to be a bigger one. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are, and I will see you on the next video, guys. Bye.